Council and Councilmember Dave Thomas is going to lead us in those.
Yes, Councilmember Dave Thomas. What we'll do is have an opening prayer, and then we'll have the pledge, if that's fine with you. So if you'll bow your heads, thank you. Our Father in heaven, we're really grateful to be gathered together at this council meeting tonight. And we pray that thy Spirit might be here, that we may be able to go through the things which are important to this city, and that we may be able to do the things in a right way that will help this city remain as great as it is. We're thankful for this opportunity. We pray that we may use it in a way that is pleasing to those who are affected, but most importantly, that we take care of the city and do the right things for the city. And these things we pray and thank thee for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Now, if you'll please stand, we'll have the pledge. Follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Thomas. I'd like to, let's see, we actually want to now go into any municipal announcements. I know probably Councilmember Roberts might have a few here.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Going into summer, we've got a lot of activities for the families here in Layton. First of all, a week from tomorrow evening will be our yearly family game night at the Ed Kenley Amphitheater. Lots of different games, Mario Kart tournament on the big screen at the amphitheater, laser tag in the park, lots of different activities. It's free to anyone. Families, bring your family out. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Here at the amphitheater. Also, Liberty Days is just around the corner, 4th of July celebration. And applications are open now for floats for our Layton City Parade. That will close on June 3rd, and patriotic themed floats. So I encourage the council and any businesses, individuals who would like to participate. You can receive up to $300 reimbursement for costs building a float as well. Always a good part of our celebration is Hometown Heroes, citizens of Layton who go above and beyond and building community and they, just making, as Dave Thomas mentioned in his prayer, making Layton City great. So nominations, you can nominate anyone to be a hometown hero at the Parks and Rec office. On the website, you can find the form. Those nominations will be accepted until June 7th. So thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Council, go ahead.
So I am on our Layton Communities That Care Coalition, and I do have a couple of community announcements from that coalition. On this Saturday, there is a new immigrant fair, and that includes information about health, education, legal and taxes, housing and food, employment and finances, as well as community services. And it will be held here in Layton. The address is 1715 West, 1600 North. And then also Safe Harbor is a domestic violence center that we work with. They have a facility for services here in Layton, and they are having a 5K on May 25th at 7:30 in the morning. This will actually be at the Arbinger Institute in Farmington, but information is on their website. And then lastly, for any of your kids and families, on June 1st, there is the Safe Kids Day. And this year it's going to be held at Northridge High School. And that goes from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's lots of cool things for your kids. Last year they had, or a couple of years ago, they had some superheroes dressed up in costumes. They give out bicycle helmets, all kinds of things, anything that you could think of around safety. Paramedics are there, fire safety, all kinds of things. So those are just some events coming up.
Okay, thank you very much. And one more addition to that would be the June 8th is the Sounds of Freedom car show that's going to be out here in the park as usual. It's a great show. It's one of the bigger ones around, and it's a great show to kind of recognize our not only our military community, but also this year there's a big focus on a project that we are going to be fundraising for here in Layton City. So I encourage everyone to come out. Okay. Did anyone else have anything they'd like to announce? Okay, seeing that there's no more announcements, we want to go on to our verbal petitions tonight. We have with us Chief Kevin Ward that's going to mention two of them. So I'll turn the time over to Chief.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. I have a representative from the Rocky Mountain Power Foundation. Come on up. Pleased this evening to got a big check with him here. Kirk, thank you for coming out here. Let you talk a little bit about the program, then I'll talk about what we were utilizing our funds.
You bet. So I'm Kirk Niger with Rocky Mountain Power, Regional Business Manager, and we had the opportunity with the Rocky Mountain Power Foundation to provide a grant to Layton City Fire Department. They put in for a grant. When I saw that, I got pretty excited because rarely does Layton ask for help, and when they did, I was excited that we were able to get it through and get that grant for, what is it, a small unmanned aircraft system.
Also known as a drone.
Or a drone. But those are, as I've looked at different grant proposals with those drones, they are amazing technology that helps to gather information and provide things without putting humans at risk. And so this is a way that we can help our first responders be safer as well as be more effective. And Rocky Mountain Power Foundation, we're all for how we can help our communities partner and do things more safe. So we had a $7,300 grant that we provided, and we're really excited.
I think you need to come hold it up in front here and
We'll get this a picture.
yeah, we need to get a picture with this.
Yeah.
That's very thoughtful of you, and we appreciate it very much, especially knowing that it helps with our firefighters and the safety.
Need a picture taken.
That's
Don't ask Clint.
I was gonna say, Clint, do you mind taking the picture down there? He's got his.
He must.
Okay, you guys need to stand up so they can see us. Council. I think we need to stand up for this one. He deserves a standing ovation, actually. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super cool. We once again appreciate that. But we also have another item here that our chief is going to present here on some community emergency response team certificates.
Yeah, just briefly on the drone program, I just want to tell you that we are in the process of getting our standard operating procedures in place and doing everything according to the IRMA standards as well. We have some pilots that are licensed. We'll go through that whole process, and it'll be an asset for reconnaissance on hazardous materials incidents, structure fires, disasters, wildland urban interface to get us initial recon until we can get our resources in and things like that, as well as for some training and public education programs as well. So we're really excited about it. We got a great one that we've picked out. This grant will cover the cost of the initiation of the program to get it up and running. So
Good, very good.
hey.
Mayor, can I
Yes.
mention as well,
Sure.
just while Kirk's still here, Kirk is fairly new in his position. Recently, what's it been, year and a half, 2 years maybe, Kirk? 3, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say from administration, he has been remarkable to deal with from time to time in large organizations, and we work with them and they work with us. And sometimes there's things that happen that none of us anticipated, and so you have to work through those things. Kirk has been remarkable and being open to suggestions as we have been to try to solve some issues that otherwise could have been difficult for all. And so I just wanted to personally tell Kirk and want you to know that in his role, he takes it very seriously and is continually reaching out to us saying, how are we doing? What can we do better? And there's good communication. So that's not always typical with large organizations, even the city, you know, from time to time, but Kirk has just done remarkable. And I'd be remiss not to let you know that we very value his involvement in the relationship we have with Rocky Mountain Power. So thank you, Kirk.
Yeah, thank you.
And leave the check here, will you?
We have the real check.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd take the real one.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, thank you again
Thank you,
for being
Appreciate
here,
you.
for that nice check. Okay,
Okay, now I
go
will
ahead
move
and
on to
proceed.
the
Yes.
second item here. You know, Layton City is blessed to have outstanding fire and EMS and law enforcement services. But in the event of disaster, we know that our public safety personnel are going to be overwhelmed by response necessary in our community, even though we have a very robust mutual aid program. This is where the concept of having trained community emergency response teams, or CERT, helps bridge that gap. The CERT program educates volunteers about disaster preparedness for hazards that may impact their area and trains them in basic disaster response skills, such as fire safety, light search and rescue, team organization, disaster medical operations. And CERT offers a consistent nationwide approach to volunteer training in an organization that professional responders can rely on during disaster situations, allowing them to focus on more complex tasks. This is accomplished through 9 training modules, the last of which involves a simulated disaster in which CERT members now must put their training into action. Layton City CERT program is led by Layton Fire Public Education Specialist Natalie Tholen. Natalie will come up here with me. I appreciate that. We are so blessed to have Natalie lead this program. She has been recognized for the state of Utah for her involvement with CERT. How many years have we been doing CERT now? Yeah. 18 years of CERT. And she also leads another ancillary program, as we know, Fire Corps, which has to do with our public education programs in the school, where we train over 11,000 students probably every year in public education programs, as well as our Rehab 51 unit that's staffed by some of our retired firefighters that come out on large incidents to provide some rehab services. Over the years, Layton City, through its volunteer instructors and fire department staff, have trained literally thousands of community members in the CERT program. I will tell you, this afternoon, I got an email from Natalie that had the survey from the 24 students in the last class, and I read each and every one of them, and every one of them gave very high praise to the class itself and the content and what they learned. But I think what was more outstanding was the praise that every one of them had for the instructors for the program. Every one of them just talked about how great all the instructors were. Tonight we'll recognize the latest graduates of the CERT program, willing to volunteer and serve in the community in the event of a disaster. I also will mention there are certain instructors we had for this. Scott Romney, Carol Childers, Michael Dolan, Floyd Gowans, Lisa Park, and of course, lead instructor Natalie. She forgot to put her name on here, but I knew that. So,
Which are all volunteers.
which are all volunteers. Yes, absolutely.
Hours.
So as I call your names, I've got to read the names because I don't know. Not sure if everybody's here, but I think most of them are. I'll read their names. We'll have the graduates come forward and be recognized by the mayor and council. If we can just have them coming up, we'll slip them through and come on back, and we'll head them out there if that works for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. As I read your names, come on forward. Paola Jones, Mindy Green, Curtis Green, Melanie Maxwell, Matthew Elgren, Mark Ride, Shalane Ride, John Singleton, Anna Singleton, Jay Young Park, Aaron Crane, Denise Samples, Raynell Hall, Patrick Hall.
This is an example. Hold on. This is an example, you guys. This is cool.
That's right. Pat McFadden, Tyler Bashuk, Stacy Peterson, Shirley White, Samuel Donaldson, Roger McNamara, Shelley Thompson, Alexander Thompson, Elizabeth Thompson, and Megan Thompson. So that's our 24 our graduates of the class. Give them a round of applause for their time and effort.
Another young. Love it. This is good. Thank you for doing this.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor. Council, thank you. That was great appreciation. Thank you very much.
Yes, I can't thank everyone enough for taking the time out of their schedules to actually go through this process, the learning process, and the fact of knowing that if and when we need you, you guys are willing to step up and fulfill that role. And I think tonight was very rewarding in seeing the youth that has taken this course. I mean, this is what it's about. It's preparing for our future. And, you know, hats off to the parents encouraging your children to do that. I mean, that's highly recommended. And I hope others will follow. You guys are the leaders. So thank you for doing that. Okay. And thank you, Natalie, for all your hard work and energy in this, and the Fire Corps.
Don't feel bad if you leave. It's okay.
Yeah, you guys don't. Yeah, you guys don't have to stay.
You don't have to stay here and be bored like us.
Well, get their packets tonight out there, so that's.
Citizen.
Yes, that's. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to bring our meeting back to order here, and with that, now is the time when we are hear from our citizens. We like to acknowledge them as well, and so any citizen that wishes to address this governing body, you're more than welcome to. Please come up to either side of the podium. Please state your name and address and the purpose that you're here for.
Thanks, Mayor Petro and Councilwoman and Councilmen and everybody else that is here. My name is Michael Lambert. I live in West Layton, 1122 West, 600 South. Is that the formalities I needed to cover? Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. So I wanted to come and speak briefly and introduce myself as an unaffiliated candidate for Davis County Commissioner. So my platform is about bipartisanship. Part of the reason I'm running is because of my concern about the increasing divisiveness and polarization in politics, even though we don't always see that on a city and a county level. But I'm passionate about bringing people together, having all voices heard. And professionally, I'm a social worker, worked most of my career with young people and families, and serve on a local school community council as secretary and co-chair, and worked a lot in behavioral health and mental health in my career. And some of the other local issues or regional issues that I care about from a health standpoint, along with mental health and behavioral health, include air quality that we face along the Wasatch Front, also the health of and conservation of the land around us, Great Salt Lake, and in conjunction with the important growth needs that we have as a county. I know there's a good camaraderie among the various counties and municipalities here in the county, and I just want to add to that and complement that. And I'm just trying to get out and meet people and welcome anybody asking me questions, between here and November. I have more information on my website, Michael4commish.com. I'm also on Instagram at Michael4commish. So thank you for your time. I recognize that Layton is our largest city in the county with the most population, the most people, that you hold a very important place economically and in leadership here in our county. and definitely value if I have the opportunity to get elected and working with different cities. So thank you so much, and thanks for your service here.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good luck. Okay. Is there anyone else that wishes to address us at this time?
So I'm David Cook, live in 329 North, 1500 East here in Layton. About a year ago, I came in here and addressed the issue with the new traffic circle and all that intersection across from the new Layton Temple. That there's problems with the way it was set up and designed. And I was told my number would be passed on to UDOT. Well, here we are about a year later. I still see some of the traffic problems, potential problems come with that intersection. And UDOT has never come out and addressed me about it. There's still people cutting that left-hand turn sharp and close, coming off and following Gentile instead of going up Oak Hills Drive. My wife had an accident there because somebody crossed the center line. $7,000 worth of damage to her car. Luckily, she wasn't injured. I've had a couple of close calls trying to come up there, turn right, and people cutting close by me because they're not staying on the lines. Something needs to be done because that traffic's going to pick up more and more. That temple coming open, and this city grows any more, it's going to get worse. Now I hope nobody ends up in a worse accident than my wife did. So I like to see UDOT come out and at least talk to me. Let me go show them what I'm seeing, what I've experienced. And I see others going to experience one day if something don't change. It's a busy intersection there, very busy, and it's not going to get any better. So I like to see them, hear something from them, maybe them come out and talk to me. Let me go show them what's going on. Maybe I think it could have been better designed. I mean, they did close out that one street to a dead end. They should have taken widened that further. They gave us 3 lanes: left turn, right turn, and center straight across. And there's that loop that comes off Oak Hills Drive on the Gentile. I watched the guy 2 weeks ago try to turn left, use that for a lane to go back up with Oak Hills Drive, and just happened to realize, oh, I can't go up there because it says do not enter. Okay, yeah, Utah plates. I don't know where he's from, but that was a potential for something to go wrong. So I think that there could be some improvements made that intersection before something bad happens to somebody there.
Okay. We appreciate you coming in and sharing those concerns. You don't need to do this on the mic, but if you'd like to leave your number with our attorney, then we'll be happy to have somebody reach out to you. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, seeing that there's no other comments, we'll go ahead and go down to our consent item tonight. We have one item here that Mr. Clint Drake, our city attorney, is going to present. It's regarding some appointment and removal of office ordinance changes. So, Mr. Drake.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is just revisiting a topic that we discussed a couple months ago. We just wanted to make sure that you knew that we hadn't forgotten about it. There's not necessarily a rush to move on this, so if there needs to be discussion or it needs to be tabled or discussed further, we're happy to do that. And this is just basically my attempts to reflect what I think the direction I was given the last time we talked about this. So there's no pride of authorship. There's no whatever needs to be done here needs to be done. And so with that, we'll just go ahead, and I've just divided this by the sections that it amends. In this case, we had a concern or a question about advice and consent, and just clarified it. We already knew what it meant, and there's plenty of precedent in case law of what this means, but this just codifies it, which makes it a lot easier. And it just states that for the purposes of this chapter, advice and consent of the council means a majority vote of the quorum. So that's for the mayor appointment. So I think we're all on board on that one, so we can move to the next one. This is the one that might need a little bit more discussion, but this is the duty of appointed officers. And as you might recall, this is one that was originally pretty detailed, and we had a really good discussion about maybe what this means. And so what we've got now, and I'll just read it, is appointed officers to various boards serve at the pleasure of the mayor and city council as detailed in this chapter, and shall abide by certain expectations. Appointees are entrusted with the duty to act and vote in the best interest of the city Appointees shall maintain communication by regularly updating the mayor and city council on matters related to their appointment. That's kind of like I said, that we had some discussions about things about, anything that creates a liability on the city. And there was some good discussion about whether or not that's the direction that you wanted to give. And I got kind of more of a general sense of this is what we were looking for. So this is what we've got here. If you'd like to, and if we want to, we can do these individually. I can go through all of them and then we can have the discussion. What would you prefer? There's only 2 more. Okay. So next one, section 4. This is there was a little bit of an issue, or it wasn't quite addressed on. It was addressed on what the mayor, the mayor sets the appointments and the mayor can remove appointments, but there was the question of whether or not what happens if the mayor is the person that makes the appointment, and how can that person be removed. So just moving to the green. In the event a mayor is the appointive officer, the city council may remove the mayor as the appointive officer without the mayor's concurrence by a vote of at least 4 members of the city council. So that was kind of that super majority discussion that we had talked about. The basis for that was similar to what it is for if the mayor would like to remove somebody for cause, then it's the mayor and 3 city council members, which is the 4. So that's where the 4 comes from on this one as well. And then the final one, which doesn't need a lot of discussion, is just that when this was originally written, Wasatch Integrated Waste was known as Davis County Solid Waste Management and Energy Recovery Special Service District, which it still is, but they are now a DBA. So just to be clear that what we're talking about, we've updated that. And then just for consistency, that changed there. So I don't think there's any issues with that one. So we can go wherever you want from this. I'm assuming it would be the last 2 slides that you would, if there's going to be any input, that's what you'll want to give.
Okay. Council, do you want to discuss this since we didn't get an opportunity in the previous work meeting?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Clint, for putting this together. I mean, we had a really good, robust discussion, and I think we all had kind of differing opinions, but this is pretty much what we all decided. I think we all kind of came from where we were to a pretty, I'm going to say unanimous, but pretty close to it approach. So I actually am fully in favor of how you've drafted it here. I think it meets what we had discussed, and it tightens up the language, which, particularly with it's not necessarily about us. It's about making sure in the future that future mayors and councils, don't, if we see an issue, we should fix it. So I appreciate you doing the time to do it, because I think it does make it much more clear in how the ordinance is written. So I'm in favor of it with no changes.
Okay. Anyone else wish to comment?
Yeah. Can you go back, Clint?
Chad's got the steering wheel.
Sorry, Chad. Let's see. Well, yeah, right there. Nope. Right there. That's the one. I like this that it's prescriptive, but it's not too prescriptive. It's general, so that in the future, that council, along with the mayor, will be able to decide what the best interest is at that particular time, instead of something so prescriptive. So I agree with. I mean, this is at least what I feel like we're trying to get at. So thank you.
Okay.
So I don't know where a comment, I guess, maybe a question for past how things have been handled. I know traditionally a lot of the appointments dealing with county or special service districts have been the mayor in the past. I don't know if that's tradition or the best interest of the city, because they're obviously, the mayor is not full-time, but a lot closer to full-time than any of the council members. I don't think there's anything in these documents that say the mayor should be this, unless, I don't know. So I'm just curious the rest of the council's opinion of that. I think the mayor, he or she, is generally more involved with many different aspects of the city. So I think it's beneficial. I'm appointed to a special service district, and we had a meeting last week, and there's one mayor on that, and he said, "Well, I just realized I'm the only mayor here," and shows you it's not as important as the ones that the mayor sits on. But I don't know, just random thoughts, I guess, from a council member.
I have a thought about it. Since we didn't have discussion previously, but I have heard either an argument on either side, right? So I mean, I think to your point, the mayor having the visibility, the relationships, the connections, and being as visible in those types of districts, I think there's a lot of benefit there. There's a camaraderie and just certain things that may help the city in a more favorable manner if the mayor happens to sit on some of those boards. I've also heard from other cities and other council members where the mayor appoints a council member for the sole purpose of making sure that the decisions come back to the council. Just because, and I'm not saying the mayor would make a decision without the council, but a council person is generally going to be concerned heavily about not making a sole decision without conferring with the other council members. So, I mean, I think I feel good about not having that prescripted and saying, well, for these districts or for this committee, this board, it needs to be this or that. I'm fine with us not having that, but I can easily see why either side would be preferred. And I think it just depends on the nature of the board or district, what they're doing, what they are allowed to do legally, versus what we would need them to do as a municipality. That's just my take.
Okay. Does anyone else wish to comment?
There's a lot of boards out there that some people fit easier. They've, for all I know is one day we have somebody elected that worked for one of the boards or something, so I feel we need to leave it kind of like what Clint said, this Clint. Anyway, I guess you said it too. But to where the mayor can move people around or do what she needs to do to put people where they fit, not necessarily where it's your turn or something like that, So I see nothing wrong with anything in green underlined.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not opposed to this. I know that, the reasoning behind it, but at the same time, I think that we've made great strides in making sure that all of us report on our various committees. And that's probably the key thing here is that actively we're communicating with one another and really kind of keeping everybody informed of the step-by-steps, whether it's on a specific board or not. It's whatever you're affiliated with. And I think tonight you guys heard me report on some of those other committees that were quite honestly just it was not a decision that's brought to us to make, and they've asked for various input. And so I've, like I said, I've tried to make sure that you guys are aware of all the steps now going forward. And I think that's the way that we need to continue to work going forward and recognize that, you guys are council members. One day you'll sit in this seat as well. And it's one of those things where you don't want to strap that position. I mean, you've already given up enough as far as your voting power and ability to help move the city forward on a voting scenario, but there's so many other roles of the mayor that I think you really need to keep open-minded on that and the benefit that they play and the role that they play for the city, because basically you are kind of like the voice and the spokesperson as well as the face of the city, and that's what we need to protect going forward. So, okay. So, council, do you want to continue discussion or do you want to take action?
I'll move, Madam Mayor, to approve Ordinance 24-13, the amendment of Title II, Chapter 8.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll go on to item number 6, which is a public hearing, a rezone request. And Mr. Chad Wilkinson is going to give us the information on that.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is a fairly straightforward request for a rezone. I'll just go quickly to the slides. The property is located at 1553 East Gentile Street. It's shown here approximately on this map with the red dot. It's a zoning request from A, which is our agricultural zone, to R110. Drill down a little bit closer to the property. You can see the property there outlined in red. This is an old kind of vestige of some of the old zoning that was there in that area. There's just kind of, you can see that one little remaining agricultural island, which includes a church property along with a couple of single-family residential properties. The proposal would be to change this property from that agricultural zoning to a R110 zone, which is consistent with all the surrounding zoning. As you can see, the property is sufficient size. The applicant is proposing this zone change to facilitate a division of the property into 2 lots. There will have to be some slight modifications made to the structure. I'm not sure how slight they are. There will be some modifications to the structure, existing structure, that will be required in order for that to be accomplished, but the applicant plans to do those things and go through the proper subdivision process should the zone change be approved. This was reviewed by our Planning Commission. Planning Commission has forwarded a recommendation of approval. We would also echo that recommendation of approval and ask that the council approve ordinance 24-12 for a zone change from A to R110 for the property at 1553 East Gentile Street.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we open up the public hearing?
I wanted to confirm that there's currently a home on this property, but that the intent is to put one additional home.
It'll be an additional lot, so they'll divide it into 2 lots. Yep, and then I'll put an additional home on that lot. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does the approach stay the same of where the existing one is, or are you thinking that it would come in off of Gentile?
They'll have to make some modifications. I think, we haven't seen the exact subdivision plat, but there's adequate room to put multiple approaches on the property.
Anyone else?
The current approach is off of, I guess, 1550 or 1500. Is that correct?
I would have to.
Or is it off the Gentile?
Zoom in a little bit on that to find out.
The neighbor's saying that.
Yeah, it's got the red line there is blocking us a little bit, but.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah, I'd have to pull up the zoning map, which I'm happy to do, but I don't have that on the tip of my brain.
Well, this is just a zone request.
Well,
anyway.
that's all right. You're all right, Chad.
Okay.
Okay. There's no other questions, and I'll look for a motion to open the public hearing.
Mayor, I'd make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Okay, the time is now yours for the public to come up, and if you wish to comment regarding this rezone request, then once again, state your name for the record and your purpose.
David Cook, 329 North, 1500 East. Might I understand correctly that they want to rezone this and turn their lot into residential in a manner that would take the one home off of there and put 2 homes on there? Or is there something more to that?
Chad, can you want to speak to this? I don't know if they're looking to take the existing home off. I think there's room to place another home.
Just so I understand correctly where this is going.
Yeah, the proposal as we understand it right now would be to remove a portion of that existing structure so that they can meet setbacks, but that they would leave a portion of the structure there and then build a new home on the new lot. Yeah.
So it'd be like more or less like 2 homes there, if you will?
Yeah, be 2 homes resulting in 2 homes. Yep.
Okay.
From 1 to 2. Yep.
All right. Yes, that approach is off of Gentile. I know exactly where that is. I turn that corner many a days, so
Yeah.
I'm aware of it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that wishes to make a public comment? Okay.
How big's the lot? Did I miss something?
I didn't mention that, but it is, I'll give you that acreage right now. I'm just pulling that up. It's 0.5, so half an acre.
It's a half an acre.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to divide it. So it'll be 2.5.
Yeah, the zone allows for 10,000 square foot lots, minimum
And
lot
that's-
size, so that'd be in that range,
Okay.
yep.
Sorry, Chad, did you mention the surrounding zones?
I did, but I'll go
I
back to
missed
that
it,
map.
sorry.
Yeah, it's mostly, oops. Oh, come on, mouse. Yeah, it's mostly R110 around there, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll bring it back to the council to close the public hearing and take action regarding ordinance 24-12.
I move that we close the public hearing and that we adopt, after I get my glasses on, that we adopt ordinance 24-12.
It's been moved in second. Being that this is the public hearing, we'll do a roll call vote. Start down here with Councilmember Roberts,
Aye.
Councilmember Bloxham,
Yes.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith Edmondson,
Aye.
Councilman Thomas.
Aye.
Okay, there you have it. It's unanimous. Okay, that takes care of our items on the agenda right now. Council, we do have another unfinished business, I believe, so I would entertain a motion to go reconvene back into a work meeting and a closed door session.
So you can do it that way, or it's actually noticed on this agenda as well. So either way is fine.
Okay, so to reconvene in our closed door, in our work session meeting. So I need a motion to adjourn the
Make a
council
motion that we reconvene somewhere
and
in a
close it.
closed door meeting.
Okay, well, and
I don't
we're closing our regular council,
Sorry.
our regularly scheduled council meeting at this time. So we appreciate everyone that was here tonight, and kudos again to all the acknowledgements that we had, and don't forget all those public announcements. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up here. So anyway, thank you.